I'm back in the city of Walla Walla, and I am here with Bobbie Richardson. Bobbie is the head winemaker at Seven Hills Winery. How you doing, Bobbie?
I'm doing great.
For our really diligent listeners, they may remember we interviewed Casey McClellan, in fact, when he was in Milwaukee, more years ago than I can remember. In fact, I'd probably say 15 years ago, give or take. So it's good to be able to be actually here at the winery and talk. And this is a really incredible tasting room. Tell me about this building.
So we are in downtown Walla Walla in a historical building. This is the White House Crawford building. It was built in 1904 after it burned down in 1903.
Of course.
Lumber and planing mill burned down.
Yeah.
Rebuilt it in 1904. It was an operational lumber and planing mill all the way up until 1988, where it then sat vacant for 10 years. It was purchased in 1998 and renovated to become the first winery and restaurant in downtown Walla Walla. That opened in 2000, and we've been making wine here since then. All of our tasting room and wine club wines are done here in this building. And then we do have a sister winery, Double Canyon in West Richland, where I make my far reach wines, my Walla Walla Cab, Walla Walla Merlot, Columbia Valley Sauv Blanc, and my Columbia Valley Rosé.
Now, I mentioned Casey McClellan before. Is he at all involved in the winery anymore? Or?
The great thing is he is still on as a consultant with us. Mm-hmm. He retired in 21 after him and Vicky have put all the effort in since '88, creating this legacy brand they have. And I have him on as a consultant still to help me out to make sure I'm not missing anything too crazy.
That's nice.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's great. I worked under him for 7 years. Here at Seven Hills, started as a part-time harvest intern, learned from him and Vicky, and thought it'd be a great place to learn more and, develop my career in the wine industry. And lucky enough, just kept moving up the ranks here at Seven Hills and took over when he retired in 21.
So you started here?
I did 3 other harvests. I did 2 in the Willamette Valley in 09 and 10. Moved to Walla Walla in 2011 to do a harvest. And then became a line cook at Saffron Mediterranean Kitchen, and then grill cook and pastry and prep chef. And wanted to get back in the wine industry and got hired at Seven Hills as part-time harvest intern, and just they kept me on. So days I wasn't at the restaurant, I was at the winery, and just kept working hard and kept moving up here, and got hired full-time in 2014, and then worked every position at Seven Hills to now in 23 became the Washington operation winemaker for Crimson Wine Group.
Was it preordained you were going to go this way? Did you trip and fall into a bottle of wine? I mean, how'd that work?
It happened, right? Like forest management degree from Oregon State. Got heavily involved with the fermentation science program there. Didn't want to get a degree in it because I didn't want to go into all the extreme organic chemistry and biology, because I transferred from a junior college. Became their brewmaster for 2 years for the club, and really loved the aspect of fermentation and creating products. And then graduated in 09, and all my friends in the fermentation program were going to go do a wine harvest, and I had no work in forestry, and went and did a harvest at Benton Lane and met my wife doing her first harvest. And we spent the first day 3 hours sweeping the parking lot talking about life. And she's from Texas and was involved in a winery in Texas, and talking about their wine and their insects and all this. And kind of got my feet swept out from under me from her, and just kept following the industry. And we did harvest again in 2010 at Benton Lane, and then moved to Walla Walla in 2011 to get in the industry, and just kind of found the right place and kept moving.
Do you make your own wine on the side at all?
Nope. I only make the wine for Seven Hills and Double Canyon. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You did some home winemaking, but once you get into the commercial side of it, it's just economy of scale. To go make a trash can of wine at home takes just as much as it does for me to make 2 tons here at the winery. And when I get home, I kind of want a little bit of a break and separation. So don't do home and winemaking anymore.
So tell me about the wines you're making here at Seven Hills.
We make all 6 red Bordeaux's, including, just list them off for y'all. We do Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cab Franc, Malbec, Petit Verdot, and a Carmenere. We do 2 different Sauvignon Blancs. We do a Rosé of Cab Franc with a little bit of Malbec and Petit Verdot blended into it. Intentional Rosé, so we're grown in the field for that. We do a few other new projects. It's called Defiant. We're just releasing last November. That's all from our Rocks Vineyard. We got a new project, Defiant. We just released last November. That's all from our Rocks block on our estate vineyard. Syrah based with some Grenache and Carry-On multi-vintage wine. And that, I think, about wraps it up for what we're making right now.
Are there other grapes that you're considering you'd like to give a shot at, or no?
We're going to put in some Rhone Whites next year. Really? So I planted some rootstock 2 years ago and grown the rootstock up to where we'll field graft over to Rhone Whites next year. Other than that, just focusing on planting some more Bordeaux varietals to try to become 100% estate with our wines.
Are there any kind of grapes that you would really like to go after one day? Something that you've wanted to produce that you've wanted to work with?
I think I'm kind of working with them, to be honest. 5 clones of Syrah, which is fun, learning about that, seeing the difference on them because they're all planted right next to each other, same soil type, same trellising system. That's fun. Putting in these Rhone Whites, I'm excited to work with just because it's unique, it's different from what we've typically been doing. Casey and Vicky have done a great job of establishing as a Bordeaux house and been great with that. So it's been fun to start this Rhone project that's different than what they've been doing, but still continue their legacy with the Bordeaux's and our founding vineyard. Working with Sauv Blanc is always fun. Like I said, we do 2 different ones. So one's a really clean, crisp, refreshing, little complexity, minerality, nice acid, some tropical fruits. And we do a reserve that's pushing more like that white Bordeaux style. So it sees, concrete fermentation, cigar barrel fermentation. So it's really fun to work with those 2 varietals.
Nice.
Overall, the quickest answer would be, the Rhone Whites that are coming in because it's new, it's unique.
Yeah.
Haven't worked with them before, so that's super exciting. And just still continuing to work with the old blocks. We do single vineyard bottling off that 1980 cab still, and the 82 Merlot. So that's always fun to showcase those wines.
Why is Washington wine special?
I think what makes Washington a unique growing region is the climate, the soil. It's one of the drier sites out of all the West Coast AVAs that you see. We can grow multiple different varietals throughout. I do think that kind of hinders our marketing a bit, that we're not focused as much. It's kind of been a big conversation lately. I think Merlot is one of the best varietals grown in Washington, and especially in Walla Walla. Our soils and our climate really help, create a great wine for Merlot. I think the people is another one, right? That's half of the battle is the people here in Washington, and not only just Walla Walla, but Washington State too, really help push the industry, and that we're all in this together to become better and be on the world map for world-class wines.
People have been incredible here. Very friendly, very warm, genuine. I can see why people want to settle here.
Yeah, it's a town so nice they've named it twice.
Yeah.
Always throw that one in there. People remember it. But, the thing is that we're a small town. 35,000 people in the city. We're like 55 in the county. We've got 130 wineries, so it's one winery for every 450 people roughly. Yeah. But being isolated like we are, we still have really nice food, high-end places to stay, more wineries than you can visit in a weekend. And like we said, it's neighbors helping neighbors here, where everybody's friends, everybody knows everybody. And
I'll bet.
We enjoy it. It's a fun little town to raise a family and make wine in.
As I told you, our mission with the podcast is to make wine less scary. Why do you think wine is so misunderstood?
Marketing. It's intimidating, right? Because you look at the tasting notes, you look at these big, wineries, and they have all this fabulous stuff and creating this product and price point too, right? You can $4 bottle of wine to $2,000 bottle, so you're overwhelmed with choice and what to do, and everybody's got to start somewhere if you want to get into wine. And to me, everybody's on a wine journey, right? I started Barefoot Merlot in college. Tried it, kind of liked it, learned more about the winemaking. Friends went and did wine, decided to get in the industry, became a winemaker. That's the short version, right? But no matter where you are and where you're starting, how far do you want to go into? You want to go with, I like this, I don't like this. great. Like, that's awesome. Try new things. Keep exploring. Keep educating. Or you can just be, I like this, and happy with it. So that's the easy part. Like, you just got to get over that barrier. Like, just enjoy what you like. And if you want to dive into trying to pick up more descriptors of wine and tasting notes, then there's classes that can help you, or online, YouTube channels, podcasts that can help you just learn a little bit more and keep developing. But how far do you want to go? How deep down the rabbit hole?
Right.
And that's the cool thing with wine, is you have all those choices. You can just hit the surface and say, I like red wine. Perfect. Or you can be like, oh, I really like, Merlot from Walla Walla, or, Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley. You start trying it. Cool thing to me that I think people should look at is that wine can take you all over the world. In a glass, in a bottle, you can try a wine, and it tells a story that that winery, that team that helped craft that wine that year. Even if it's just a, simple barefoot Merlot, there was still a team that crafted, that put together. There's growers that grow that fruit. There's a whole story behind it that I think really helps. And if you just take that barrier of the label and that price point and just go with what you like and what you want to learn, really just makes it easier. Helps if you get friends too, and then you get to share bottles, you get to have all these great experiences with wine, talk about it. I'm finding more and more lately that I'm really enjoying wine, not at home, but with friends. Like, I want to go open a bottle and share with friends, or friends come over and we open bottles and talk about it, and have a great experience, enjoy food, and then just sitting down with a bottle and drinking it.
For our listeners here in the tasting room, do you have to have an appointment here, or can you just come on by? How does that work?
You can come on by. We encourage appointments. We open at 10. We're open 7 days a week currently. The appointment just allows us to know you're coming in, and we can prepare for you, and that we can have a seat for you in case we do get busy and there's no room.
Sure.
So you can book online, you can call. Make it pretty simple to come join us down here in downtown Walla Walla.
As it should be. And for our listeners who want to learn about you online, what is your website?
SevenHillsWinery.com.
Excellent.
And we got Instagram too. I don't remember what that hashtag is. It's like 1988 Seven Hills Winery. Yeah. So we're on there.
Cool. Bobbie, thanks for taking the time today. I really appreciate it. You've been a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and ask me some great questions.